Okay, so Elyse, it's good to see you, by the way, again.
Good to see you
Um,
too.
so my first question for you is, how did you get in? Like, when did you discover cosplay? Like, how did it all like come to you? If that makes sense.
Yeah. So, actually, my sister got into it before I did, and
Hmm.
her first cosplay ever was a Gerudo from Legend of Zelda,
Hmm.
and she was I can't think of her name, but she had the bandeau and the harem pants, and she had the prop and everything, and we were both going to Boston Comic Con together when I
Hmm.
was in college. So we went together, and I just discovered this whole world. Like, everyone had bomb costumes on. I saw all the stuff I recognized from like Star Wars and Avatar: The Last Airbender and Overwatch, and I was so excited, and I was like, what is this? And my sister was like, yeah, I make costumes and we do cosplays and you should totally get into it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. And my first costume was actually Clementine because it was really easy to kind of put together. I just went to a thrift store and painted on some blood and ripped up the clothes. And I got the little hat and just kind of had a lot of
That
fun.
is cool. That is
Tattered.
awesome. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. So how did you get into the whole Clementine character? Because I know last Friday, I believe,
Mhm.
you were Clementine. You were with
Yeah.
us at the podcast. How did you get into that character of Clementine, like
So
cosplay?
I initially started, I guess the hype started when I watched PewDiePie playing that game, when it had
Mhm.
come out, and I was like, okay, wait, I didn't finish watching him play it because I wanted to play it by myself.
Mhm.
So as I played it and I got into the character, I got into the game, and I started to live like through Clementine and through Lee and
Mhm.
like see the experiences they went through. I was like, I'm gonna cosplay as her, and it's gonna be so awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're in a convention like Comic Con or any type of Comic Con like Tidewater, what else? There's Tidewater, there's Savannah Comic Con, and there's Hampton, and then you got the Chesapeake Library, which is different.
Hmm.
But when you're in character, do you stay in character, or are you at least like just yourself?
I try to be as authentic as I can about it. I was
Hmm.
actually just having this conversation with my sister, and I was telling her, I guess you could describe it as like a purist in this way. I want it to be as accurate as possible.
Hmm.
So I behave like the character, and I want all the details to look like her, even if, the hair isn't like realistic, it goes way far up. I want it to look just like it. So I kind of go out of my way to like behave like it. If people take photos, I'll try to get into character and stuff like that. I really just kind of get it way into it.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, what is your favorite convention?
So far, my favorite convention has been MagFest. I
Mhm.
went for the first time this past January. Um, before everything went to hell, and it was a delightful time, and it's the biggest con I've ever been to. I have been to Otakon, but this just was like another level, and it was this self-contained, I don't even know, like amusement park where everyone was walking around and taking photos. The costumes were crazy, and there was something to do every minute. I mean, me and my
Yeah.
sister were walking around looking at signs like, I don't even know what to do right now. There's so much going on. And we rarely left the convention. Like for Tidewater Con, we would go out and, like, oh, we'll leave and come back. But we just like did not leave the convention center like at all. It was the
Yeah,
best.
I really like Tidewater Comic Con. I think it's
Yeah,
amazing. It sucks that they had to cancel it this year. I mean, which is
it did.
understandable.
Yeah,
But I'm excited for next year. So I mean, I already ordered my Borderlands Psycho mask that I wanted to get. So I'm getting ready to cosplay as that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. So what is your favorite cosplay that you've done so far?
My favorite one is actually the one behind me here. It's Collie. She's actually getting an update, so she's not entirely ready. Her prop is getting sanded down and all this stuff. I have never made my own props before, and now I'm
Hmm.
really excited to be making my own props for her and for my future costumes. But I debuted her at Tidewater Con for the first time, and the reaction was just overwhelming. I didn't even know it would just get, I just didn't know, I was just, oh, I saw the character, I saw the music video, and I was just like, that looks dope. I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah.
And then I tried to add my own appeal to it, my own flair to the
Mm.
costume, and people like really loved it, and it was really just the most wholesome thing ever. So I'm just giving her kind of an update. She's getting some more paint and a little bit more glitter and glow,
That
and
is really
yeah.
cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about cosplay in general? Because I know most. Because I recently uh, posted this on my Instagram about cosplay bullying, that I do not like cosplay bullying because I think it's unnecessary. I think it's
Mhm.
completely rude.
Mhm.
Have you experienced that where people like judge other people's cosplays because they're just different, or you know
Mm.
what I mean? Because obviously we don't tolerate
Mhm.
bullying, especially cosplay.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's really quite upsetting that it happens, and I have experienced it myself. It's
Mhm.
just really, it's supposed to be something we're all enjoying. We're all just having fun. We're all just kind of enjoying the character that we're in, and the games and anime and shows that
Yeah.
we're cosplaying as. But for some, I guess it takes on a different meaning. Like if you are cosplaying as a character that you don't necessarily look entirely like, then you'll hear about that, like, oh no, they kind of don't look like that. Their skin might be lighter,
Yeah.
their skin might be darker, something like that.
Mhm.
And I'm just kind of the view that we should cosplay what we like, what we want.
Mhm.
We don't want to be mocking or offensive in any way to any group of people. But I mean, that's a character that you like, then be that character and make it your own,
Yeah.
like make it
Mhm.
you, and let that show through what you've made. And I,
Mhm.
I think we should be accepting and tolerant of everybody. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's a great hobby. It's a should be an open community, and I try to always be like, yeah, good job. Like even people who feel bad, because it's their first one or maybe their second one, and they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like it looks terrible. I'm like, no, you killed it. It's fine. We're all out here.
Yeah.
We're all learning. It's
I
totally
mean,
fine.
yeah, I don't really like it, like especially like it, because I've experienced that in Tower Comic Con last year. Well,
Hmm.
no, the year before, and it wasn't pretty. But that's how
Mm-hmm.
people are. People are going to be like, the thing I really hate is being used. I've been used by so many people, like where they want to take a picture of me and then they block me for no reason.
Hmm.
That really gets annoying to me, and I don't know why
Mm.
people do that. I guess just they just want to be like that. I guess
Yeah, just
people
trolls.
aren't going to be people aren't going to be nice, but hey, that's
Yeah,
why we're all here. Us cosplayers right here
yeah,
like to have fun, and I love it.
absolutely.
And when I'm in cosplay, I love, like, I'm always that character. I'm no longer Logan. I'm this character, like Psycho from Borderlands. Like, I love being that character.
Exactly.
So, and it's really fun. Speaking of characters, who's your favorite character from a video game, movie, or TV show? We can go with video game first.
Video game first. Um, that is difficult, but if I were to narrow it down to like top two, I guess it would be Clementine and the one that I am now, which is Anna Amari. And Clementine, that game, I was
Mhm.
I was alone during the holidays, and I actually played that game, so it has a special connection with me.
Mhm.
And this game, Overwatch, Anna Amari, has a special connection with me as well, because being a gamer who's a female, and you start going into chats and comms and talking and like trying to play the game is a challenge. And Anna is already really hard to learn as a character. She requires such precise aim and good game sense,
Mhm.
and she is really hard. And I just kept pushing and persevering, and like I just kept going. And um and it just means a lot that I was able to get to the point where my aim accuracy was super high. I was winning games, like I'm in diamond rank. I was just really so excited. And so just being on a just kind of represents that constant, just keep going. Even if you have the negativity going on, just keep going, just keep trying, because it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, yeah. What about we said video game. What about movie?
Uh, that is really hard. Um, I guess it would depend on the genre. That is super hard.
What type of genre do you like?
I really do like horror and action quite a bit.
Action, horror, yeah, horror's really good.
Um, that is so hard. I couldn't say like it's my all-time favorite because I know I'm forgetting somebody, but one of
Mhm.
like up there, really high up there is Ripley from Alien.
Oh yeah, Alien's a really good sci-fi movie.
Literally love that. I watch it all the time.
I actually I own all the Alien movies, and I just finished Aliens and Aliens. I haven't watched three or the other one because I heard they're pretty bad,
Yeah, I
but
was
that should be fun.
disappointed.
Yeah. Ugh. Um, what cosplay do you want to do in the future?
So I actually have a list. I don't think you can see it behind me, but on the whiteboard, there's actually a list of them that I'm planning. I'm doing Princess Yue from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm going to finish this one because I have a whole ensemble to make for Anna Amari.
Mhm.
I have Kitana from Mortal Kombat 11, the latest one. I love her look.
Yeah, she's great.
She looks awesome. Um, and what was the other one that I'm working on? Oh, I'm working on Katara.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Guitar from Avatar?
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly guitar. Like, wait, I feel like I know that character.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got
Um,
a super cute look.
so how do you feel about cosplay now? Like I mean, yes, we're still in the pandemic and stuff, but how do you feel about cosplay now? Like, especially for everyone who loves to cosplay. Like, do you have any advice for people who want to cosplay or for people that enjoy
Mm.
it
I
in these
mean,
roles?
the biggest advice that I would give for people trying to get into it now is please be patient. I just remember being mad at myself. I was making jewelry for the first time and I was soldering a headpiece for Queen Amidala from Star Wars. And I didn't know what I was doing, so I had to keep restarting it over. It took weeks and weeks and weeks of me restarting the costume because I kept messing up the soldering. And I got really frustrated and thought, I'm just not going to do this. But I ended up just kind of taking my time and plotting it out step by step. It takes a immense amount of patience to
Mhm.
plot out everything from A to Z, get all your materials, and take your time to make sure you're not like falling apart when you go to the Comic Cons and you don't want to be gluing stuff back on and picking yourself up and that's
Mhm.
something I also had to learn. Just me going, going to the cons, walking around. You're
Yeah,
just carrying all this stuff and walking around, and if you
yeah,
start falling apart, you got to carry that around for the rest of the day, and it's
hmm
really irritating. So
yeah.
just the
When
patience to
I
work through that and problem solve.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when I was at Tidewater last year, I was cosplaying as a killer from a horror movie called Hellfest,
Hmm.
and I was carrying my backpack with me the whole time. I didn't lose it. I was carrying with me so that way, like it won't like people won't steal it or anything. So it's
Hmm.
always been with me. Like if you got to carry something, just carry it with you or something.
Yeah.
Just bring something. Like one of my friends who cosplays Deku, I think she was here, not here, but like here at the panel, not panel, the party thing that we
Mhm.
did. She mentioned to me that she carries her stuff like water, snacks for people to have, which I
Oh,
think is nice,
nice. That is nice.
and I think it's very nice for her to do. Um, so what has been the most embarrassing moment in a convention for you, especially for cosplaying?
Well, um, MagFest was my best experience, but it was also one of the most embarrassing because a collie was actually falling apart while I was walking around.
Hmm.
There were parts. There's her her leggings is detached, and so she's got a big hole. So there's she's got one leg is just the normal legging, and then one is cut in half, and then it's the bottom leg is detached, and so it kept falling off. And then, so I was going around pulling up my legs all day. And then part of my jacket was kind of coming apart because I had sewn the bottom all funky. So it was kind of ripping at the seams. And I'm trying to take photos and I'm coming apart.
Oh no.
And then parts of me had fallen down as I was walking, and somebody, like my sister, was like, "Get your belt buckle fell on the floor," and I'm like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" So I'm trying to get to the little cosplay repair place, and there's like 3 people on me trying to get my stuff onto my
That
body,
is,
and that's when I
mm,
realized spirit glue was a savior.
yes. Always glue your costumes, even if they're really hard.
Yeah.
Like impossible to do. So my last question is actually my last question for
Mhm.
you. What has been the best experience for you at a Comic Con like Tidewater, or any con that you've been to?
Well, it definitely was at Tidewater Con when um, me and my sister were cosplaying together, and we had just walked in the door. No expectations. It was my first like homemade costume, and we walked in the door, and like 2 professional photographers were like, "Oh my God, can we please take your photo?" And we were sitting there for like an hour as he was taking, like they were taking both of our photos, and the photos turned out so amazing. And we didn't schedule, like they just came out the woodworks, and all day we were just like, can we please like take your photo? Can we see it? Well, how did you do this? How did you make it? Just my first costume. And it felt so great knowing that, I could make something my own and then come out and people actually like it. It was really just so heartwarming. And I'll never forget that. Like that was the best hands down experience that I've
That
ever
is,
had.
it's making me smile. I'm always smiling right now because of interviewing. It's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Elyse. I'm glad I got to do this little interview with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I just want to thank Daniel, by the way, for letting me be a part of this. Of course, this has been amazing, and
It
I
really
hope
has.
yes, and I hope I can see you at the party. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
I won't be in character because I don't have a costume right now, but I'll just be
Mm.
myself because I got nothing to
Okay.
wear.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
that's fine. You can just be whatever you want.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that's in progress.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this has been really fun. Thank you, Elyse and Daniel.
yeah, thank you
Especially
guys.
Daniel. Oh, you're welcome, Elyse. I'm really
Yeah,
glad that I got to talk to you and interview you.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thank you guys. Have a good